Hello, Divi family. This is Lance Conrad with Henry Marsh here today, and I am super excited to introduce to you a very good friend and a mentor of mine. I've said many times, hey, to be great at something, you've got to learn from people that are great. And this is a privilege, guys. We're going to have an interview format with this gentleman who is a four-time Olympian, three-time world champion in the steeplechase, a founder of a $4 billion MLM. This is somebody that's achieved success in all aspects of his life in a whole bunch of different areas. And we're going to talk about how you can learn from him to be successful in your home-based business and some of the products that we've brought to you right now that you can use and launch to be successful today. So with that, Henry, before I jump into it, I love I've known you for about a half a dozen years now, but I've known your sons even longer. And I think one of the things that really drew me to you before I saw you speak and I got to know you, and you're one of the most personable people I know, is, man, you taught your sons to work hard, to have big dreams, to big goals, and to go get them. And they've turned out, I don't know your daughters, I know you have wonderful daughters, but I do know your sons, and they're great at tennis. And they played in college. They've been great in their professions. They've done extremely well in business. And maybe you can start by talking about your sons a little bit and then introduce us to the attorney and successful entrepreneur, Henry Marsh. Introduce yourself a little bit to our Divi family today. They're just getting to know you.
Thanks, Lance. And yeah, don't get me started talking about my kids because I won't stop. But you know how a proud father is. But I hope there's some lessons that can be learned for everybody listening today on their personal development and lessons that I've learned from my father. I had a phenomenal father, Harvard Law graduate, and lessons I've passed on to my children that I hope we can pass on to the affiliates so that we can help them grow as individuals. And that's really the key. So I'm excited to be with you. I'm excited to work with the affiliates. We've got some amazing things happening. I'm so excited, and I'll share with you later today why I'm so excited and why I'm associating with the Divi family.
Yeah, and let's jump into that a little bit because I want them to know why they should listen and what's so relevant about what we're bringing to this team right now. Tell us a little bit. So you had the fastest MLM to hit $1 billion in sales in the history of the industry. I mean, it was just a rocket. Tell us what used to work and how that's not working so much anymore. Tell us a little bit about the evolution of the industry.
Yeah, I was very fortunate. I mean, I got introduced to network marketing really in high school when I was approached by Amway. And then later on, I had a good buddy who asked me to speak at one of his MLM conventions. And they wanted an Olympic athlete to speak, and they were a young company. They didn't have a big budget, so they asked me because they couldn't afford the big name ones. And I got to introduce even in more detail to network marketing. I became a distributor of that company. So I learned it from a distributor side and what a distributor goes through, and just became fascinated with the industry, such that when I left the Franklin Covey company, where I had developed a curriculum and training trainers and written a book, and I wanted to start my own company. And at that time, it was a different environment, totally different environment, starting a company back then than it is today. There wasn't as much competition. The regulators weren't as involved. The forced autoships were really the way to do it. Everybody was doing it that way, et cetera, et cetera. It was before social media. That's probably the most important thing, is before social media. It was a different way of doing business. It was not the Uber economy that it is today. So when I took my 2-year no-compete, when I left Montevideo, I'm now, in the past year, have been going through and seeing, okay, what's going on today? How is the industry different? Where do I want to position myself? How do I want to help people today in a secure way rather than the threat of regulators overhead all the time? And so that's what led me through several iterations over the past year as I put my feet back in the water and looking for the right opportunities and the way that I could really help people the most. And that led to starting with travel, and because I love the idea of a service that was helping people. The product itself saved people money. Then I ran across a guy named Travis Bott who had access to a product called Rise. Rise is an algorithm that trades on the foreign exchange trades foreign exchange every day, a mammoth industry, over $5 trillion a day. And I was enamored with it because here was a product that made people money. And in the network marketing industry, my history, my experience was that people stayed with a company on the average for about 3 months. That was our average retention rate. Yeah. And we had a forced auto ship of $200 in order for them to stay qualified for the highest ranks or the highest payout in the compensation plan. When I saw Rise, I go, wait a second. This thing is phenomenal because it solves the two biggest problems in network marketing, aside from the regulations that I'll talk about in a second. But it solved the problem, one, of retention rates. Because when people can have access to a technology that makes money for them every month, how long are they going to stay? Well, they're going to stay forever. As long as they're making money, why would they leave? So the retention rates started getting mind-boggling to me. Because if I could, at Monavie, if I could have changed the retention rate from 3 months to 6 months, we would have doubled our income, our revenue, and hence the commissions to our distributors. And the second one is, now I'm drawing a blank. Okay, so the forced auto for the retention, and the auto ship amount. So then forced auto ship. So if somebody's making money, they're going to put more and more money towards that product. So the way that it's set up, and Travis did an amazing job of vetting this to make sure that it passed all the regulations. And the way it's set up is that people pay a subscription every month to have the right to a bandwidth or a tier of money to invest in, not invest, but to place on deposit with a broker. So we have a relationship with a broker. We never touch people's money, which is one of the key elements that had to be set up, that they pay a subscription fee to get this bandwidth to put the money to work for them in the foreign exchange currency market. And so that subscription then is the people are going to want to increase. That basically becomes the auto ship. Every month they pay the subscription fee for the bandwidth that they have. Well, if it's working, they're going to want to increase the bandwidth, which increases the auto ship every month. Now, instead of forced auto ship, people are going to want to increase the auto ship every month. And so it just became off the charts.
I love that. And you mentioned something really big about what we're doing here is retention. In network marketing, the frustration is you're always trying to out-recruit your retention. And what I mean by that is you're always losing people out the bottom. You just got to put more people in the top or your check's going down. And you're talking about Rise. If our product is making people money every single month, whether they're a customer or an affiliate, is anybody going to quit? Yeah, I mean, our retention goes through the roof. So even if we're not the best recruiter, even if we're not building the biggest team, if we're not losing them out the bottom, that team starts to exponentially grow. Your checks start to exponentially grow. And so by helping people just on the individual basis win with Rise, this thing can explode. And
that's Lance, that's spot on. And that's what got me so excited, because today in the industry, it's different. It's the Uber economy. You have to be Uber today in your thinking and your execution. You have Amazon now. Amazon is going to have a major impact on network marketing companies. To be a product company is very, very difficult today unless you have a proprietary product that's really, that nobody else can have access to. Because Amazon will take knockoffs, they'll take the product if product's dumped. And so it's going to be very difficult for the traditional, the old way of doing it. The old way we used to do it is very, very difficult today because the regulators want consumers. So you want people to want your product. And so, if you think about it traditionally, 5% of the people at the most probably made money in network marketing from our experience. And we are a multi-billion-dollar company, created hundreds of millionaires, but only less than 5% made money. And I got to thinking about it. With Rise, 95% of the people will make money. I mean, that's just revolutionary. We're going to change the way that network marketing is done. We're going to change the paradigm of network marketing. We're going to change the paradigms of forced auto ships to desired auto ships, that customers are going to desire what you have, that the focus will be Everybody wants what we have. It doesn't matter if they're a distributor or not. And that's the way you get around and be a safe harbor with the regulators today and really impact people's lives. So I'm sorry, I get excited, so I get long-winded.
Let's talk to Rise specifics. Now we've got all these affiliates. They bought into Divvy because of rank and share and this idea of low barrier to entry. No auto ship. You get your opinion matters, and get paid for your actions, right? And now all of a sudden they're getting thrust into this Rise product that they're just learning, like they're just absorbing today, and they're asking why and how does this fit in? And I want to talk to this a little bit, because these kinds of tools, having algorithms trade your money and having consistent success that are above what the average person gets. These kinds of tools have been around, but they have not been available. I mean, the system's kind of rigged where to be able to have this kind of world-class tool to manage your money, there's barriers to entry. Maybe you could talk to us a little bit about, what it historically took. We always say it takes money to make money. What did it historically take to have this kind of money management software available to you?
No, this is so exciting, Lance. And now, first of all, I want to make a very important point. And that is the reason I'm associated with Divvy is because Divvy's rank and share gets me excited. I know we're getting the bugs out and it's delayed a little bit. We have Rise right now, but the big picture, the reason I'm involved is because rank and share is amazing. It's the same philosophy as Rise. We're going to help people make money with the product. And we've got exciting things with rank and share coming down the line. They're delayed a little bit. We have Rise right now, but it's a perfect marriage long term, and that's what's important. Yeah. But short term, as far as the Rise, I was fortunate to do well with Montevideo. I've taken funds and I've placed them in because I'm an accredited investor. I have investments in funds that take a minimum of $250,000 in order to get into the fund. You have to have that kind of money to have access to the funds that are really that have a great return on them. Yeah. And a great return is considered, in these funds we're getting 18 to maybe 22% returns, which is considered a phenomenal return in the investment world. And these are great world-class funds. Let
me stop there. So world-class funds for seasoned investors that want to participate. If you want to make 18 to 22%, that's amazing. And you got to be at $250,000 liquid to be able to go even start to play in that kind of space. Most people, if they're making 10%, that was off the charts because it's just not available unless you're very wealthy. And so, let's talk about what we've empowered people with Rise, and maybe what you've seen with that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. And you have to remember with those funds, your money's tied up for 3 to 5 years. You put the money in because it's money that you don't need short term, and so you lock it up for 3 to 5 years in order to get those kind of returns, and you have to put significant money into them. Now, that's what's exciting about Rise, because now we have leveled the playing field for the average person. Somebody can get started in Rise instead of $250,000, not $100,000, not $50,000, $10,000, no, $5, no, $1, no, $500.
Wow.
$500, you can get started and have the exact same power that accredited investors have that are locking their money in for 3 to 5 years. You can have it in a much more liquid environment at a lower cost. I am so excited to help the average person. How many people are prepared for their future? How many people have retirement funds that are going to sustain them? We're going to be able to help people make an amazing difference. And it was one of my biggest regrets at Montevideo. We created hundreds of millionaires, but a lot of them lost it. We didn't do a good job of helping them preserve their income and using the money that they make to even do greater things. Now we are perfectly positioned to make that happen. I couldn't be more excited about it.
So how long do I have to tie up my money? Because you're talking about $250,000 tied up for 3 to 5 years. If I put $500 into an account, how long do I have to leave it there?
Well, you can take it out anytime you want. we're not teaching people that this is a short-term investment. I don't recommend this as short-term. I recommend a minimum of 6 months to a year that you're thinking, but even longer, because that's where you get the compounding effect. The interest rate only does you, the return only does you good if you're compounding it over time.
Yeah.
You can get your money anytime you want, but what happens with Rise is when the algorithm takes positions, trading positions, when the currencies fluctuate. The more fluctuation, the more the return with the money. So in order to take positions, if you take money out, then you have to liquidate positions that may be to your disadvantage at the time. But the algorithm is amazing because of the money that's put in, it's only utilizing, 10 to looking over the last few months on my account, 10 to 15%. So you never have all your money at risk, number one. And number two, if you need to liquidate for some emergency, you're only talking about a fraction. Let me give you an example. In this particular
before we jump out, let me comment to what you just said there. So we're looking long-term, not short-term. So projecting, you're looking at, something that you want to see grow and compound over 6 or 12 months or over time. The longer the period of time, the more compounding. But because it's liquid, it's not tied up for any length of time. So if my car got in an accident today and I needed that money today, I'd have access to it. Is that what I understood there?
That's correct. I've taken money out. It took me 3 days to get my money.
Okay, awesome. That's what I wanted to clarify. Jump into your analogy or going into a story. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Well, I don't remember what the story was.
That's okay. My fault.
I don't remember what the story was. Oh, I know what the story was. I was going to be specific about my account. So I started, I'm in between weeks 19 and 20 right now. And I put $100,000 in. When I last looked, and that's the nice thing. I don't have to, so many people trade foreign exchange where they have to either mirror somebody, they have to take courses and learn how to do it. I don't even think about it. I occasionally look at it and see what it's doing. Never one down day. This is a very conservative algorithm that's getting a phenomenal return. And so I looked at my account, and so right now I think it's at like 112,770. I think was the last time I looked at it. So that's what 12.7% return so far over between week 19 and week 20. Here's the interesting thing. I could take $10,000 out of that account right now and take the hits for the positions that are already in there.
Yeah.
And still have more than $100,000 in there that I started with. So even with the penalty of taking that $10,000. So in 20 weeks, I can take 10% off right now today and still have more than I started with.
So I want to change the direction here. These people are just getting their head around it. Man, low barrier to entry, $100, I get a Rise account. No forced auto ship. I can prove it for as little as $500. I can invest hundreds of thousands of dollars. I mean, we're talking, you don't have to be a network marketing professional or a network sales professional. You really just need to be a networker. You just need to be sharing it, right? If you could start over 12 years ago when you went to $1 billion in, just a handful of months, and it was just this amazing roller coaster. What do you see for this group right now? I mean, we've got hundreds of thousands of people around the world today, and they've got this tool where everybody can make money. Everybody can win, customers and distributors alike. And really, there's virtually no barriers to entry. I mean, almost nothing. I mean, the only way you lose is by not trying. What do you see for somebody starting a business?
Hey, let me tell him, Lance. Let me tell him. This is amazing. Oh, I lost my camera.
You got too excited.
This is amazing because this is going to change the industry. If we had this 12 years ago, we would have done a heck of a lot more. Because look, the biggest problem I think people have in network marketing is a fear of sharing with people. Yeah. Because they have to sell somebody something. This isn't selling somebody. You share this with them and going, wow, I'm in. Would you like to make money while you sleep? Would you like to have the power of the Uber economy, artificial intelligence work for you today, where this is a way for you to put your money to work? I just had a surgery last week, just a little tooth surgery last week. And my surgeon's all in. Everybody says, all I've done is lost money on my investments. Doctors, you're all in on this. It's so easy to share with people. It's not, you don't have to convince them they're going to have to take disposable income and consume a product. Instead, they're going to take disposable income and put it into a product to make more money so they can consume more later down the road.
That's awesome.
So, no, we are perfectly positioned for the new economy, the Uber network marketing economy, the Amazon network marketing economy, I'll call it. This is the perfect position. And as I mentioned earlier, or maybe I haven't mentioned it, but Uber increased the market for professional drivers. It increased the amount of travel I do, hiring somebody to drive me around. I do a lot more. We are going to increase the market in network marketing. We increase the number of people that join. We can blow the doors off of this. We are perfectly positioned.
I want to wrap this up by bringing it back around into a few things that I just pulled from you. This is an amazing product. You don't understand it, most of you. You don't have to. The professionals, the very best in the industry, are going to do it for you, which is awesome. All you need to do is believe in it. So what I would tell you to do is upgrade your account. Use it. Just watch it grow so that you can believe in it. Because once you use it and believe in it, it will be a compulsion to want to share it. Use it, believe in it. Like Henry here, he's a believer because he uses it. He sees it grow. It's the easiest thing he's invested in. And he's like, holy cow, I want to share it. Use it, believe in it, share it, and you're going to have success. Low barrier to entry. Your money's working for you. No forced auto ship. And even our customers win. All you have to do is believe in it, and this thing is going to start exploding for you.
Now, here's what's key for our amazing Divvy family. Here's what's key. Get going now for a couple of reasons. One, you can start making money now. You have a product now as we finalize the Rank and Share, which is the perfect complement, and that's why I'm involved. I'm involved because of Rank and Share. And number two, when you do it now, you start developing the history. The most important thing about the $500 that you put in today at a minimum, it's not the return on that $500. It's the marketing power to show your results over time. That's the only thing you can show people is your personal results. Yeah. You can't go share my results with somebody. It's your result. You need to get started now. It'll be the very best marketing tool you can possibly have. And the longer the history, the better. So do it now. I plead with you to really make the most for your success. Get going now.
Hey, thank you all for chiming in. Henry Marsh, thank you for your words and pearls of wisdom. Everybody go make it a great day and share the goodness, share the good with everybody else. Thank you, and make it the greatest day of your life.
God bless.